I'm Logan Webb, and you're listening to Torture Cast.
You're listening to a podcast by and for fans of the three-time world champion, San Francisco Giants. With hosts Chad King and Eric Nathanson. This is Torture Cast.
It's Monday, June 3rd, 2024, and this is episode 301 of the Torture Cast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. I'm your host, Chad King, and joining me today, Eric Nathanson, one of the co-hosts today. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm not in as bad of spirits as you'd think after a Yankee weekend, so I'm doing good. There's some hope about this team, so I'm feeling pretty good right now about the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, after a 4-game losing streak, I heard you dealing with the paper cutter before we recorded, and I was like, you better not be using that on any body parts. A little self-mutilation to cope. Also joining us today on the podcast, Willie Dills Gregory. Man, how you doing?
You know, I'm in the same boat as Eric. Positive right now. I know we're in a 4-game losing streak. That sucks. But there's signs of life here, man. Signs of life, especially since our last actual episode, which was definite doom and gloom. So here we go. We're on our way.
Yeah, the Giants, we had a recording scheduled for early last week, and just it didn't work out with our schedules. Things came up at the last second, and man, that would have been a much. I mean, this is positive. I'm glad you guys are positive, but that was like a glow.
We would have had so much fun.
The Giants are winning the World Series, no doubt.
Okay, wait.
Off the wall.
Hey, let's just all go back to that moment just for a second.
I know. Can
what
we
it would have been
that?
like
Those 2 weeks.
What would have been like on Friday? It would have been 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Oh my God, we are four comeback victories, being down by 4 in the 7th inning or later in a row. First time that's ever happened in the history of the Giants, I think.
That's just crazy.
I mean, it was quite the week. And yes, obviously we weren't here to talk about it then. We should talk about that now. That was insane.
Well,
that was incredible.
I was going to say, at their peak, they won 10 out of 12. And the irony was, the only 2 losses they had, they blew a 6-2 lead in the 9th, and they blew a 3-1 lead in the 9th. Otherwise, those normally lockdown games.
Oh, God.
Had a 12-game winning streak.
I forgot that they were both losses in the 9th, too, at the same time. That's insane.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. If we say, hey, they could have had a 13-game winning streak, we could also say, hey, they could have gone 6-7 and lost 3 or 4 of those games.
True. We could have lost by 5, 6 times in a row.
Mets could have destroyed them.
We kept coming back from 4 down. It was insane. So there was a really fun post I saw on Reddit, our MLB. I spend a little time on the other Reddits, not just the Giants Reddit, where it's all doom and gloom. But there was a post on our MLB, and it was like the Giants just went down 5 runs in the 8th. And then the first comment was, the Mets, you dumb bitch. And then the Giants came back and won the game, dude. It was so sick. It was so good. It was like, Mets, you dumb bitch. Why would you do that? Why would you get?
I saw a lot of similar comments. The Giants have the Mets right where they want them. That kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Give up a grand slam. That's exactly what
Twice.
We wanted, dude.
Yeah, twice.
The Pittsburgh series, they gave it up to both Reynolds and Bart.
Yeah, former Giants.
Oh, Bart. Okay, give it
that
up to Joey Bart. Give it up to Joey Bart, baby. Grand slam, dude. Let's go. Look, Eric, you predicted Joey Bart was going to punish the Giants a series too soon. Yeah. He came back and he tried, man. He tried his hardest, but
He did.
Still didn't do enough to win the games. It's that New York series though, specifically that one game that the ninth inning got crazy and it ended on that Chapman throw out at first base. I tell you what, boys.
Oh my God.
That was the most exciting game I've watched all
Okay,
year.
does anybody have the highlight of Chapman high-fiving the entire dugout? Because nobody has that.
No, I know. They said it, and then they never cut to it.
Kept talking about it on the broadcast, and I'm like, nobody got this footage? Like, come on. Somebody on their phone or something must have this somewhere.
That had to be the highlight. I mean, Chad, you got to say that was the highlight of all these games and all these comebacks. Was that just the way they came back with? Was that the Bailey Grand Slam one too?
Yeah, the Bailey Grand Slam, the Chapman walk off, barehanded, absolute dime to first base. I don't know. Yeah, that was. We had some moments, guys. We had some moments. We had a good.
Those 2 weeks were so much fun, honestly, and it coincided with the arrival of a lot of the young guys. And we were joking, Eric and I, last time, saying it was the Sacramento Giants or the, the San Francisco River Cats, whichever way you want to say it. But man, a lot of those kids proved themselves in the last couple of weeks. There's no doubt about that. It was a glimpse of the future. It's just a question of how sustainable is it. We don't expect these kids to be hitting 400,
it's
a couple of bombs.
It's not.
It was fun.
Matos was the player of the week, and now he's hitting 225. So
right,
yeah, so.
yeah. No, they're always going to regress to the mean. I get it. It's a part of it, but they have shown. This is kind of like Casey Schmidt. Remember last year came up and just. He looked like the next coming of Brooks Robinson. It was like, oh my God, look at this guy. And then same thing, right? Although called right back up. Now he hits 2 home runs in this series. It's like, all right, didn't help the Giants, but he is massive.
So actually, okay, here's another fun little highlight that happened in the last week. They showed Yaz's first base hit. Do you guys remember this?
No.
He got his first base hit, followed instantly by rounding first base a little too aggressively.
Yes.
Kicked off on first, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Then we had a major league first base hit this week, followed by the next guy grounding into double play. So I mean, it's the Giants are a little give and take right now. They're we give a fun moment. And then we go, Remember this though. Remember that we kind of sucked.
Yeah, remember this.
Yeah.
No, it was hard, and what was really weird about those 2 games they lost in that 12-game stretch when they lost it in the 9th both times. Freaking Logan Webb was the standing pitcher to win both of those games. So
the non-decision both times was Webb. Oh my God. Okay, so here's the other thing. One of those was whatchamacallit, right-handed twin, right? The blown save was that. Am I remembering wrong?
Yeah, no. Taylor blew. Yeah, Tyler
blew the 3-1 game.
Tyler blew the night because they'd used Doval like 3 times in a row in non-save situations.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Because we couldn't get Doval into a save situation for a long time. It was like we want to be up 3, but we're always up 4, or we're not. You know what I mean? It's like, but he's warmed up, put him in, right?
Yeah.
And then that game, finally, they were like, okay, go the other guy. Which actually we'll probably speak to at some point here soon because some people have been talking about Doval. But let's continue on down this path. That last week, it was sick. 10 out of 12. Amazing.
It was a lot of fun. And, for being 6 or 7 games below 500, and right now they're 2 games below after this 4-game losing streak, at least they crested above 500, and it gave us hope for sure. And it's like, look, if this team can... Yeah, they crested, right? They rode that wave right over the top, and then
Chad, you're familiar with cresting. Yeah, that's when you're done with a week down under the sea, and then you're like, hey, I'm back up on top,
baby.
And then it's like, hey, dive back down though. We need to know
Yeah.
more about fucking sea lions or whatever. Yeah. All right.
Now it was.
We have now reverse crested. Yes.
And aside from the 107 game win season, it seems like the Giants are just hovering around 500 forever. In fact, 2020, the pandemic season, you remember they were fighting with the Brewers for the wild card spot, and they actually tied with the Brewers, but they won the tiebreaker, and they finished at 29-31. That's exactly where they are right now, 29-31. So
wow.
The Giants seem to be locked into this level of mediocre play for quite some time now.
I remember Brooks Newsom shared a stat with us when they had just gotten to 500. That put them at 500 over the previous 250 games. They were 125 and 125.
Yeah.
The Giants are the standard bearer for mediocrity average baseball clubs right now.
Yes.
Which is better than being where a lot of the other teams are. Let's be honest.
Listen, we could, we could be the Mets right now. The Mets are getting strays from left and right at this point.
White Sox
I
have
don't know
lost
if you
11
guys
in a
saw this.
row, that kind of thing.
Donald Trump got convicted for 34 felonies, and they were like, he's almost as bad as the Mets. And I was like, what? The Mets are getting hit right now in a Donald Trump lawsuit?
Nice.
At least we're not the Mets, to be fair.
No. Look,
we feasted on the Mets, and that was fun, dude. That was fun because those guys, the Mets are a talented ball club. It's kind of nuts to watch a team with that many good players,
right?
Suck that bad, right? It was wild to watch the Mets be that terrible and let the Giants just continue to beat them. But whatever, I digress.
The Mets and Pirates gave them this crest, there you go, of momentum, this wave of momentum that they had coming into the Phillies series. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, when this week they had to play the two best teams in baseball. The Phillies had the best record, and then the Yankees had the best record.
Back to back.
And it started off so well. And then it didn't.
2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 over the Phillies. After we talk about this on the last episode that the Giants, if we weren't playing the Dodgers or the Phillies, we actually have a pretty good record.
Yeah, you
I think we did.
Texted that to us, but I don't know if we talked.
It was something like 29 and 16, or sorry, not 29 because we always say 29 now. It was something like 25 and 16. It was something like that. It was pretty good. We were a good team when we weren't playing the Dodgers or the Phillies.
Well, they're 1-5 against the Dodgers, and they're 2-4 against the Phillies now. So yeah, I mean, you take away those games, and the Giants are well above 500.
Well, we went 2-3 against the Phillies. That Phillies series was so fun. First of all, anytime you're watching the Phillies and the Giants right now is really fun. But that was one of the funnest at bats I've ever seen in my life. The Bryce Harper at bat, two freaking pitches under the chin, and then the second one I thought hit him in the helmet. By the way, but it did not. It hit the knob of the bat, and then Dwayne Kuiper had one of the funnest calls of the series or the season, where he was like, I can't wait for this next pitch. I was like, me too, dude. Me too. I cannot wait. It was a fun series. And after we got 2 of 3, I was like, bring on the Yankees. And that's where I was wrong.
And Aaron Judge showed why he's one of the best hitters in baseball. Yeah.
That's where I was wrong. Yeah.
Oh, that was ridiculous. That Phillies thing with Harper, though. I mean, let me ask you guys: do you think he had a beef? I think he was just being a red ass. He was all he was annoyed because he was hurting. There were shots of him earlier in the game being angry about other things. I think he brought that to the plate. I think Harrison was clearly
his
just
first
missing
strikeout.
the arm side.
His first strikeout, he tore his bat up, and they showed that highlight. We all saw that, right? After his first strikeout, and because he struck out on a straight fastball from Kyle Harrison, which Harrison throws a 94-mile-an-hour fastball in the first inning, right?
Yeah,
He warms up. But his fastball is it's a Bumgarner sneaky fast fastball, right? But he has a tendency to not like finish it, I guess you could say. So it rides up and in to a left-hander.
Yeah, it totally drifts on him from the arm side, and it'll drift towards the left-handed batter. Even the Phillies announcers were like, "Did you think he was throwing it to him there?" And the other guys
He
were
was
like,
not.
No,
I didn't
He was
no,
not.
I don't think that for sure.
Now, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, he threw up and in to Harper, and Harper barked at him like visibly. It was, the whole broadcast stopped and went, "Oh, well, that was a thing." Then the very next pitch, exact same spot, even a little more up and in. But here's what Kyle Harrison's what his pitches do. He rides up and in. Now, I thought this, and somebody said this to me later, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. If a guy, he also has a breaking ball that starts in that same spot and then drops right over the plate, right? Now, if Harper's not backing up and respecting that pitch, maybe just don't throw the one that breaks, right? And force him to deal with it. And I think that might be what he was doing. And also, I think Harrison was a little bit saying, listen, man, I'm a big leaguer now. I'm here to play. A little bit. I think a little bit. Like, he wasn't going to not throw, a down and away pitch after Harper barking at him, which I respect. I don't know about you guys.
It's his plate too, as the old school pitchers would tell you. That's their plate.
Yeah.
And Harrison took over that plate in that moment. Harper got a little
I love it.
up. Yeah, I don't know. Harper, I think he did it to himself. He's just like he's like a chihuahua almost, who will just like "Arr, arr, arr, arr," and wind themselves up and wind themselves up so that any little thing sets them off.
Yeah.
And that's what Harper is. There were things leading to it that day. It was just so stupid because the Giants are not a mean big bad team. They're not looking out to steamroll anybody or anything like that. They're just still trying to get their crap together. So it's not like they were had the intention. They won 2 games in the series before any of this crap happened. Like, if Harper had half a brain in his head, he would have been like, well, they weren't doing this to me the other day, so I don't think they're doing it to me today. It was ridiculous. And it kind of changed the tone, though, like, because they won those first 2 games against the Phillies. Then they had the whole Harper thing, and they haven't won a game since.
Oh, wow. I haven't even been paying attention. They're playing the Cardinals right now, right? So.
No, I mean the Giants haven't won a game.
Oh, the Giants, yeah.
The Phillies won another series because that's what they do.
What was the shitty ass bullpen guy we thought was going to be our closer for a while, who threw at Harper, and they had the whole scuffle?
Hunter Strickland.
Yeah,
Strickland. Thank you.
There was a lot of tweets about that one, showing that video from back in the day.
So Harper already had like a bug in his ass about the Giants, right?
Yes.
A little bit, I think. But I think you're right, Eric. Like, I think Harrison was saying, listen, I'm up here to throw some fastballs. This is what I do. In fact, Harrison throws more fastballs than any other pitcher in baseball at this point. I don't know if you guys have looked at the stats, but he's like an 85% fastball guy. Like, that's just what he does. So he was like, look, man, if you're going to yell at me, and I respected that Harrison, it looked like he said, hey, man, I'm sorry about the first one. The second one, when everything kind of went haywire, it looked like he went, hey, man, what do you think I'm doing here? You think I'm throwing at you?
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. By the way, also, Harrison has the most baby face of any Giants pitcher on the roster.
He does.
Everybody else has a mustache or a beard. He is shorn, clean shaven. And to see him just kind of stand up to it was very nice. I like that. But back in the day, Bob Gibson was like known for brushing dudes off, right? Throwing at people. Nolan Ryan, known for throwing at people. Marshall. That used to be a thing that people were respected for. Now apparently everyone's like, get this guy off the mound. What the hell's he doing up here? He's wild. Get him out of here. It's like, come on, guy. Like, Harrison led the league. I don't know if you guys saw this. Harrison led AAA in hit batters and walks the year before he came up to
definitely new walks. And that's one of the things that we were kind of a little cautious about. It was like, we want to see this kid, but he's got to cut down on the walks.
I mean, eventually he does have to finish that fastball because he just kind of lets it go. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't fully commit, and then it rides up and in. So yeah. Anyway, I don't know, man. I like him. I like the kid. I like the gumption. And that at bat ended with Harper grounding out to short, or second, or whatever it was. So there you go.
Harrison, you talk about looking at the stats. Harrison also seems to be the guy that they win behind. I think that was only his second. Only the second time they lost during the season when Harrison started a game, which means he's putting them in a good position to win. And you really got to like that. I mean, with this stretch of playing these two top teams at home, I mean, the young guys showed out, though. They really kind of did. They showed up, especially early on in that Philly series, and even yesterday against the Yankees. I mean, they're starting to show up. They just can't hold it. The bullpen was able to hold on when they came back against Pittsburgh and New York. It just wasn't able to hang on against the better teams. I mean, the Yankees are not the Mets and the Pirates. You know what I mean? The Phillies are not the Mets and the Pirates, and it was very apparent. So, you know, for as exciting as it was, I think we came back down to earth a little bit, which is okay, you know, because we still have expectations.
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees, like you just said, Willie, I mean, you just compare the two rosters and you're just like, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I know they did well against the Phillies and what have you, but, you know, Aaron Judge, I mean, he talk about half a video game weekend, right? 6 for 10, 3 bombs, 6 RBIs, and throwing 2 stolen bases. Why not? I mean, the dude was just like a one-man wrecking crew.
Do you think he was like a little bit like, yeah, guys, you thought you had me. What's up, SF?
I don't know.
It felt a little bit like he got up for this series, though, don't you think? Like,
I mean, it's possible. It's his first visit since then, but I think it's been enough time where he just, I don't know. I mean,
I don't think he's
a team too. So
I don't think he's a cheeky bastard, but I do think a little bit he was like, the Boo Birds were out.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to show you guys what the fuck I can do. And I don't know. It pissed me off.
I know. I hate that. It's just.
But it was fun as hell. This is what I want. This is entertainment, man. This is, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm watching the WNBA, I want to watch chicks fucking body check Caitlin Clark. You know what I mean? Like that. Like this is
heck yeah.
I'm buying a ticket, right? Like, come on. Like, Soto gave us everything we wanted out of Soto.
Mm-hmm.
Judge gave us everything we wanted out of Judge. I wanted to see the Yankees show up and be the Yankees. I wanted the Giants, obviously, to, you know, fight back. And we did, to be fair. We did. But, I mean, we just didn't have enough punch. We didn't have as much punch as they did,
I was gonna say, I think you had 2 games that went the opposite way of what I thought. I thought, you know, hey, look, we got Logan Webb against a call-up, right? I thought that was going to go well. Although the Giants seem to have an Achilles for like the mysterious young kid who they've never seen, right? And that's kind of what happened, right? And then Webb gets hit a little bit, and they lose that game 7-3.
But Webb gave up a home run to Judge in the first inning of that game, and it was just like, oh, okay, all right.
It was like, oh, all right. And then the last game, you know, you got Snell, who just can't hit the broadside of a barn right now. He's just all sorts of messed up.
Actually, hold on. Hold on. Snell was not terrible.
Well, that's right. That's what I'm saying. Going into the game, you expect him just to be tattooed, right? He obviously left with the left groin, you know, pull and all that, and wasn't horrific. He actually lowered his ERA. But then, you know, you go into the 9th inning after the Yankees tie it, and then the Giants go back up 5-3, and you're thinking, all right, well, at least they're going to salvage one. Oh, no, they're not. You know, you have Camilo Doval coming in.
By the way, Snell came in with a 10 3.47 ERA, something like that. It was at the beginning when Mike Kruko's like, here's Blake Snell, and he throws a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. His ERA is 10.45. I'm like, how is Kruko
The
gonna?
crazy thing about that is he gave up a run in the first inning, and his ERA went down.
It went down. Yeah,
It went down even after giving up a run. The guy
How
has
do we
given
feel?
up 25 earned runs this year. He gave up 45 earned runs last season.
All right. Let's dip it in the oil and see how we feel. How do you guys feel about Blake Snell? Is this just a total bust? Was this the worst?
I mean, it's way too early to tell still. Hey, here's the reason why. He's never had a season this bad, but
Chad, I need you to decide right now. No, sorry.
Yeah, I know, right? He still has a whole year left. Okay, let me put it this way. We talked about this last time. I don't think there's any way Snell is not opting into next year's contract. He's not going to be seeking more money.
He wants a $33 million payday next year with the Giants. Yeah.
The only team that's going to give it to him.
Yeah.
But what if he's just absolute lights out from July?
That's what we're banking on because he's always been a second half pitcher. If he can figure out what the hell is going on injury wise,
if he is, would it be worth it? Like, look, it's not Barry Zito. It's not a Barry Zito contract, right? Because it's 2 years.
Yeah, it's just 2 years.
It's a lot of money, but it's not 7 years, whatever the fuck that was at the time.
Yeah.
And Zito's contract, by the way, totally worth it in the end. Totally worth it. If Snell does give us a good last 2 months, and we get to the wild card, right? And then he has like 1 or 2 good starts in the playoffs, I'll be happy. Right now, I'm annoyed, but yeah.
Right now, what constitutes a good start is going 5 full innings and only allowing maybe 4 runs. The bar is so low, and I don't blame it because I can't stand this guy. I've never liked Blake Snell. I can't stand that the Giants signed him. I was happy because he seemed to be the best guy, but I have no faith in a starting pitcher that gets through 5 innings and throws 110 pitches. I have no faith in a starting pitcher that takes 10 pitches to get every batter out.
I know.
This is why
I like Logan Webb because he's like, motherfucker,
I can't stand Blake Snell. I hate him on the team. I hate that they signed him. The guy doesn't have a chin. That should be your first tip. It's just so obnoxious.
Let's go, Eric. Let's go, dude.
I cannot stand that he's going to come back and he's going to be great in the end of the season. What? So we can throw 4 fucking pitches in the middle of September and then just Sean Jelly has to come in for 3 innings? Or Dakota Hudson or whoever the hell else we have.
He's going to give us 3 he's going to give us 3 1/3 in the first start of the wild card game. And we're going to be like, he's amazing.
Because the whole game takes place after he comes out. So yeah, thanks, Blake. We really
what we used to do? We used to get the 4th guy on the Braves in the 90s to get us 3 1/3 in the wild card game. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, you're right though. I wanted Montgomery. I wanted Montgomery the whole time. But I'm also annoyed at all these fucking guys who didn't sign all the way through spring training.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Boris, totally.
What the fuck is going on with this?
It's all Scott Boris. After this year, that's not going to happen again. I guarantee you. The way these guys have come out and played. Yeah, I don't think that's happening again. I think Snell is a great example, but it's ridiculous. But Snell,
it's Soler too, dude. It's Soler too. Yeah. It's all these guys. I think if baseball is going to make a big deal about the pitch clock, if baseball is going to make a big deal about all these things to speed up the game, we need to also put, like soccer has, football, sorry, a fucking transfer window. You cannot sign after the window is closed. Like, do it. Get it done. Spring training starts at a certain day, and you need to be there. You cannot be sitting there twiddling your thumbs and being like, well, I'm just waiting for, a 5-year player opt-in contract. Like, it sucks. All of our dudes were this. All of our dudes. And so it almost feels like we started the season like a month in where everybody else had their team locked in, and the Giants were just like, yeah, we finally got Snell, and we finally got Soler, and we finally got Chapman. Like, it's annoying, dude. It's really annoying. And you see it. Like, proof is in the pudding. Everybody's fucking hurt.
Yeah.
So
100%. No, it's not good. And then you kind of combine that with, Doval, who I'm not calling for his head or anything like that. Technically, statistically, it's his second blown save of the year. Some people online were like, it's like he's blown like 6 games, and no, he hasn't. He's blown 2.
No,
but
he has not.
I will say though that he has not been locked down even when he does get those saves or he does appear in non-save situations. His ERA was fine coming into this game, and every closer is going to have a couple of bad games a year where they get really torched. And he got torched for 4 in 2/3 of an inning yesterday. But just overall for the year, if you look at his Baseball Savant page, I mean, he is just at the bottom of the league in average exit velocity. I mean, the average exit velocity is 91 miles an hour right now, which is 8th percentile. Like, meaning he's in the bottom.
Wait. You're saying what the hitters are hitting?
Yeah. He's
the ball's batted again. Okay. Because I'm like, his velocity is awesome. Like,
his fastball velo is in the 97th percentile, averaging.
So
miles an hour.
What was the game? I think it was the Mets. There was the Mets game where we went into the 10th inning and he struck out like their best hitter to get to the 10th inning. And the last pitch he threw was like 104. Do you guys remember this?
No, I missed a 104. If that's
I remember hitting 102, but I don't remember a 104.
There was like a 104. It was like crazy. It was like, whoa, he like really humped up. And I will say this, like, yeah, I got into some arguments on Reddit yesterday where people were like, just trade Doval, get rid of Doval.
That's
and
crazy.
I used to have. It's wild. It's insane. I used to have all these conversations back in the day, like when it was Brian Wilson, and then it was Romo, and then who was the guy in 2014?
Casilla,
yes. And everybody with closers, everybody only remembers when they blow the save. They do not remember.
Oh yeah. What have you done for me?
The
lately?
30 other times that they. Close it out in the ninth.
So
I think Doval is a tippy top tier closer in baseball. He just is. His stuff is insane. He has some shit to work on though.
He's got a lot to work on, and if you look at some of the metrics of the average exit velocity, right, a lot of good contact, and that ties into barrel and hard hit percentage. For barrel percentage, he's in the bottom 9% of MLB, and for hard hit percentage, he's in the bottom 4% of MLB. And then you throw in the walks, he's in the bottom 4% of walks as well. And that's just a kind of a recipe for disaster. So it's not so much like every closer has their bad game, right? And it happens. It's just that he's putting traffic on base. His whip is over 1.6 right now. It's ridiculous.
He's not walking guys though. Guys are just like hitting the ball
He's
hard.
got his career high so far, 15.6% walk rate,
shit.
which is bottom 4% of MLB. He's walking a lot. His K rate is 27.5%. So he doesn't even have a 2-to-1 percentage ratio, which you really need to have.
Eric, put on your Rigetti hat right now. Eric, how do we fix Doval?
There's nothing to do to fix him. He's fine.
No, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a different take.
He got beat by Juan Soto yesterday.
He got beat by Juan Soto and Aaron Judge and
he couldn't find the zone or anything.
And the other guy.
Right.
They have a third guy. Who the fuck is the third guy? Fucking Giancarlo Stanton. He got beat by 3 of the best hitters in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with Camilo because this is just what you get with Camilo. Some days there's going to just be a wild hair up his ass and it just happens. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's other days he's going to steamroll the team. He reminds me of Brian Wilson. He really does with better stuff.
Better stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Wilson couldn't throw 102 with
way
movement.
better stuff. Wilson had
sure.
a 96-mile-an-hour cutter, and they were like, "It's so good, it's crazy good." Yeah.
And this one's 6 miles an hour faster.
He has 102-mile-an-hour cutter. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think there's anything wrong with Camilo. I think he's exactly where he should be. I think the problem isn't Bob Melvin's usage of Camilo, but that doesn't speak to the player, necessarily. I mean, they all have bad games. Matt Chapman has 7 errors on the season, and this is our defensive god. So the fact that Camilo has blown a couple games, it doesn't say anything to me. He's fine. He's still. He needs better coaching. He needs to know when to stay with the slider when the fastball is not working, or stay with the fastball when the slider is not working. So coaching is the biggest flaw for Camilo, and that's not even his, what he does.
So get a coach who speaks Spanish and can tell him, "Hey man, you're good. You're chilling." All right. Can I give you guys if I was Dave Righetti, if I was Rags right now, here's what I would tell him.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, I thought he fell in love with the slider. Last year. And by the way, last year he led the league in saves. So maybe falling in love with the slider, not the worst thing. This year, he's realized that his fastball can move 2 different ways. So he can go cutter, he can do 4-seamer. What I want to see from him, I want to see Doval develop a changeup. And if he develops a changeup, this guy will be absolutely fucking unhittable. Even if he never throws it, even if he throws it once an outing, the fact that people will have to respect it, I think, will make him like tippy top tier. Because we've seen closers in the past do nothing but changeups, right? Like Logan Webb is kind of nothing but Trevor Hoffman. Thank you. Logan Webb is kind of a nothing but changeups guy, right? Right now, it's just if you're fucking Aaron Judge or Juan Soto, you don't give a shit if it's 102.
Nope. In fact,
You're
his
Aaron
fastest
Judge
pitch
and
yesterday was 102.4 miles per hour. He's averaging 100 miles an hour on 38% of his pitches are cutters. I mean, that's crazy. And he's maxed out, like you said. His best pitch this year is 104 miles an hour. But he's averaging 100 miles an hour on his fastball. That's crazy. And his sinker averages 98. The hell?
And I love that he's gotten back to throwing the fastball more, because last year, okay, what was the at bat? God damn it! I wish I could remember names more. What was the at bat against the Angels? Scott Spezio, the pitcher threw
Francisco Rodriguez.
Thank you. He threw the same pitch 9 times in a row, right? And Spezio just was eventually like, okay, yeah, I'm a big league hitter, bro. I will hit that out of the park. Mm-hmm. If you have the same pitch over and over and over again, unless you're Mariano Rivera, big league hitters are gonna hit it. And when you're the closer, you're generally gonna have to go through the top tier hitters in their lineup, right? That's why you're there. So you need something. You need to be able to put something in the back of their minds. And I would love to see him develop a changeup or something. I don't know, a splitter? Something?
I don't know. I think yesterday is one of those, the exception that proves the rule.
Yeah.
It shows how good he is and how good you have to be to beat him. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not mad. I'm just saying, like, it would be, I think that's, if you're going to beat these top hitters over and over and over again for years, which I hope he does, 2 pitches, it's tough, man. It's tough. You got to have, like, the best of those 2 pitches. So
yeah, no, he mixed okay yesterday. He had 14 cutters, 12 sinkers, and 6 sliders. It's not like he was 80% on one pitch, which like you said, sometimes when guys aren't feeling comfortable with a certain pitch, they'll go away from it, right? And guys will be sitting dead red. I think looking at the Savant metrics, his cutter isn't cutting as much as it used to. There's less movement, and now it's below average. I don't know if that has
So
anything to do
it's
with it.
flattening
It's
out.
just it's flattening out, and that could have a little bit to do with it, where it's allowing guys to barrel the ball because it's not up on the shaft or anything. This sounds like a different kind of podcast all of a sudden, but it's I think maybe just he's not getting the rotation as much. But yeah, velocity's there. He's missing as much as he's kind of used to. His walk rate's a little up. But guys are barreling the ball more often, not just in the yesterday's game. The whole year they've been barreling more.
I mean, all those balls were hard hit, dude.
Yeah.
They were
One
really
of them,
hard
121 miles per hour. It was the hardest hit ball of his career that he's allowed.
So okay, Eric, you said he's using him wrong. What would you say to do yesterday?
Nothing with yesterday, but it's the stuff leading. It's the stuff leading up to that. We don't need to throw them in a 4-run lead.
We've done that.
Because,
right.
Just because they're dying to get a victory.
We're like, you got to give them some slow. We got to let them throw. We got to, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, that's the thing is they're not finding the balance. Early in the season, they were having a hard time finding ways to get him into the game. And now they're having harder times of trying to avoid him in a game. So I haven't been a big fan of Bob Melvin's bullpen usage in general. And so Camilo just kind of falls into that. You know, he falls in love with guys. He clearly fell in love with Eric Miller. Sean Jelly's worked out so far, but
he's fallen in love with Walker, which I'm okay with. Walker is doing a fantastic job. Jelly doing a fantastic job. The other super tall lefty, Miller, I think that guy gets a little too much blow. But you're right. I also think we're missing a couple of guys that we used to have that, it's like we let some guys go and we're patchworking a little bit right now.
Well, yeah, he keeps using Jackson in these high leverage situations that he shouldn't be in. Taylor Rogers has been banished to the end of the bullpen. I mean, we never see that guy unless they're up 4 runs or down 4 runs. It's like, why did you spend $33 million on this guy? $11 million a year for Taylor Rogers to be a mop-up man? Please, what kind of management is that? So that's my general annoyance with Bob. But I mean, they have to deal with what they have to deal with. Like the team itself is dealing with so many injuries, that this is one of the more actual stable parts and they don't win those other games without the bullpen coming back. So it's just his usage.
We're missing
sometimes a little off.
We're missing Brebbia a lot
for sure.
Right now. Brebbia was such a guy you could just plug in anywhere last year. It would be nice to have him right now. But Rodriguez?
Randy Rodriguez?
Randy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy.
Rodriguez, right? Who also throws 100 miles an hour, who clearly looks like a closer in the making. That's another guy I'm like, okay, if we could kind of set this up where it's an 8th, 9th kind of situation with those two guys, we would kind of be the Padres of, the 2012s, 2014 era. But the problem is we're not getting to the 8th inning with a lead. We're getting to the 8th inning down 5 at this point. So
no, it's been an issue. And like you said, man, the injuries have been pretty bad, and I know we need to get going here. But Jung Hoo Lee, we haven't even talked about him. I know they announced he went a couple of weeks ago, but he's gone for the year. That's a huge blow. And the guy, I mean, he laid his body out. I mean, I love him. I love his attitude. I love the way he plays the game. I love his personality. And he went after that ball, and it just happened to. His arm goes on the top of the fence and then just kind of jammed his shoulder. It is what it is. People are like, "Oh, there should." That's
what's lame?
It's like, dude, it was padded. He just hit it in an awkward way. It could have happened diving for the ball too.
That fence sucks. And Matos had hit the fence almost super similarly, like 2 days later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he made a.
He's not out for the year. No, you know what I mean?
No, it was just it was a bad
it's just one of those things. It's just a bad break.
Lamont Wade was leading in on base percentage and third in batting average. He was finally qualifying. He's out with a hammy, grade 2 hammy, which God, those last forever, right? Snell with his issues, left groin tightness, Estrada day to day with right thumb, Conforto with the hammy, Keaton Wynn with a forearm strain, Slater with concussion. Ahmed seems to have a bit of a setback, so he's going to continue his rehab assignment in Sacramento. Murphy, his knee, bad knee, back in July, maybe. And then Tristan Beck, of course, his aneurysm, he's out till the second half, like Robbie Ray and other guys. It's been bad, man. It's been a bit of an infirmary for the Giants. So I
Can
think
I
it's
tell
kind
you
of
guys
an
about
amazing thing that they're 2 games under 500, to be honest, and only a half game.
Oh,
out
Can
of
I
the
tell
wild
you
card,
guys
by the
about
way.
this hangnail I got though? This fucking. I mean, I might not make the next show. This it's really annoying. So yeah, no, everybody's fucking hurt. It sucks, dude. It really sucks.
And they're holding it down. They're holding down the fort. They're a mediocre team, but they're within playoff striking distance. They're half game back. It's okay. It's not the sky is falling. It's nothing like that. Like you guys said at the beginning of the podcast, they're doing okay.
I think that they have their 2024 starting lineup in this 2023 team.
Ooh.
I think you've got an outfield of Ramos, Lee, and Matos. I think you have an infield of Chapman and then Luciano or Schmidt, and then second Estrada, first Wade Jr. You got Bailey behind the plate. Like there's the makings of a really good core here if they let them play. If they stop giving Yaz so many at bats.
Yeah,
if when Slater comes back, he gets banished. They have to do the things to keep these guys going.
What do we do with Yaz though? What do you do about Yaz?
Trade him if you can. I
agree.
I think Yaz is kind of useless. I have for a long time.
I agree. I love Yaz, and Yaz is technically an above average right fielder, right? But
But I know that he's really great at swinging at fastballs down the center of the plate.
It's frustrating to watch. Some other team probably wants an above average right fielder, right?
Yeah, the silver lining is that we are seeing Ramos and Matos get their chances. Luciano struggled. Matos got moved up in the order. He started struggling, so you move him back down. Ramos yesterday, he led off, and he took the reins. I'll tell you, he's probably the surprise and best thing to come out of this is Helio Ramos just looking like a major league ball player now. Like he's past the
By the way, I like how you said Helio because they keep saying Heliot, and I'm not down with that.
No,
it's Helio. It's Helio, right?
Yeah, I don't have the gospel on that because I hear the silent H too. I hear Elliot, like Elliot.
I know.
That's like I'm not touching that one.
I know Latin dudes. That's Helio. Okay, but
Castro Neves.
Ramos as our center fielder for the rest of the year.
No, Matos.
Oh, sorry, Matos. Yeah,
Matos.
As our center fielder for the rest of the year. How do we feel about that? Like, I think we just rock with it, right? That's just what it is.
Yeah,
you have to. You gives him a chance for next year.
I think it's fine.
And Conforto, when he comes back, he goes to the left, and Ramos goes to right. That's just what it is.
Yeah, when Slater comes back,
I'm not sure how they're going to work that.
They may have to make that.
When Slater comes back, we trade his ass, and
No, I don't think you can trade him. I think they're gonna DFA him.
Yeah, no, he's done for.
I think he's gone. And he's the longest tenured Giant, by the way. It's weird, but he is.
I know.
It almost feels like that's why they haven't parted ways with him. He's the clubhouse representative as well.
He's a mustache May guy. You know what I mean?
I've always wondered if that's part of it.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, they kind of give him a long leash. So, and he used to eat lefties, and now he's not. So, anyway.
Right.
Okay. Right. Let me. I know we gotta go. But let's just real quick. I just want to talk about shortstop because shortstop is a wild position right now, and it feels like every day there's a new friggin' guy there.
Dude, Luciano's like a jack in the box. You're just like waiting for the thing to pop out, and you're just like, oh my god, is he gonna drop it? Is he gonna airmail it? What are you gonna do?
5 errors already.
How do you guys feel about Luciano? Because I feel like Luciano is like, okay. There was an interesting comparison I heard the other day, which was when Bob Melvin had. What's his face? Who's now on the Rangers? The Rangers?
Will Smith?
No. The shortstop. What's his name? He's on the Rangers.
Corey Seager.
No, not Seager. No, the other guy. Is he on the Rangers or is he on? Anyway, whatever. Bob Melvin had a young Latin shortstop, and he ran him out there day after day after day. when he was the manager for the Padres. God, now I can't. God, it's gonna kill me. And he had like 37 errors. And Bob Melvin kept Simeon.
Oh,
Marcus
Simeon?
Simeon. He's still out there.
That was with Oakland, yeah.
With Oakland, yeah, he kept
Yeah.
running him out there day after day, and everyone was like, "Dude, this guy sucks," you know. And he just was like, "No, I'm sticking with my guy."
Mm-hmm.
And then Simeon turned into a key for the Rangers, right? I heard on KNBR that they were like, maybe he sees something in this kid, and that's why he just keeps throwing him out there. Do you guys see something in this kid? Because I do see something in him, but
I see something in him. I just
feels.
think he's just so raw, and I don't know how to work through that. I mean, yeah, more reps.
How old
I
is
get
he
it.
now? We've had him forever.
Oh, he's still
How
young.
old
He
is
got
now?
signed as a 16-year-old. I think he's 21 or 22.
So he's like 21, 22. Okay, all right.
He's young.
Then I'm chill.
Yeah, no, he's got a lot of developing to do. It's just rough, and I
But
think
he does.
coming in the late
does,
innings, that's where it hurts.
He does Mauricio Dubon level like bonehead shit,
Yeah,
right?
It's true.
Where you're like, what the fuck was that? Like, why did you not cover the base, or why did you? You know what I mean? It's like weird stuff.
Yeah,
but
and I'm sure they're working with him behind the scenes and talking to him about his decision making and all that. But yeah, he's young. He's young, but he's been in professional baseball for a while now. So you're just hoping to see a little bit more. Hitting wise, he's doing okay. So yeah, if they can work on that.
It only comes with playing games, though, right?
That's true.
You just got to play
100%,
games.
Yeah. But maybe they're going to convert him to an outfielder eventually. But
we'll see. Chad didn't learn how to stretch a single into a double until he played a bunch of games.
That's right. And then my hamstrings couldn't support that.
All right, sorry, we got to let Eric go. I'm sorry. I'm
all right.
I'm talking too much shit.
Coming up, the Giants got 3 in Arizona, 3 in Texas. So back on the road where they don't do so well, but hopefully their rematch with Bochy will go well. We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. But other than that, you can follow us collectively at TorchCast on Twitter, individually at ChadK21 for myself, at 2OutHits with the number 2 for Eric. You can check our website, torchcast.com, and like us on Facebook and all that good stuff. And Eric, of course, is on Giants Chatter quite frequently. I don't know if he's still online now to talk about it. If not, no big deal.
I think he had to go to work. But
yeah, I think he had to go to work. He got called in. And yeah, Willie, what do you got going on right now?
Actually, I'm gonna pimp something this time.
You got that new podcast, right?
I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about the MGA, the Mediocre Golf Association. So we're in the midst of our season. We have big changes this year to the World Championships. Chad, one day you're gonna get old enough, and your wife is gonna give you the permission to join one of our chapters. I don't even know what chapter you joined in Gilroy, but
there was San Francisco before, but
I'm sure there's one close. There's one close to you at this point. But this year for the World Championships, the MGA World Championships, we have switched everything. Instead of doing a Friday-Saturday tournament, we are now doing a Monday-Tuesday tournament.
Whoa.
I know. Big change. Big change. Monday-Tuesday tournament. Here's what it does. It makes everything across the board cheaper.
Yep. Number one, cheaper. Totally.
Yeah. So we actually lowered the price of our total package this year for the first time in like 9 years. We lowered the price. So Monday, Tuesday is the main tournament. But here's the other thing it added on. We now have on Wednesday the first ever this year, the very first ever Team World Championships at the MGA World Championships. It's a 2-man scramble event. So if you come to the World Championships and you want to play the main event Monday, Tuesday, and you want to stick around for one more day, we have the team event the very next day on Wednesday. And I'm very excited about it. We tested out the format, And if you go to youtube.com/mediocre golf association, something like that, you can see the video that we posted of us trying it out. And it worked. It worked perfectly. It's great. Chad, if you were coming, I'd have you as a teammate. But
I don't think you want my golf.
well, yeah. All right, no.
Yeah, you want me
play
to chat
golf
with and joke with, but yeah, I don't know about the whole
if
golfing
I wanted
part
you,
of it.
if I wanted, if I wanted you to bat third, I would have that. But yeah, golf would be but it's going to be a lot of fun. So just anybody who listens to the show who's a golfer, and anywhere you live, by the way, international, whatever, we have chapters all over the world. We actually also finally crossed 100 chapters globally.
Jeez, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Still
I know,
growing.
right? 100
Man, it's amazing.
global chapters. Isn't that wild? The MGA has 100 chapters, and we have almost 10,000 members. So there's probably one close to you. Anybody out there?
Dude,
so
I knew
check
it was
it out.
growing. I honestly didn't know it was that big. That's crazy.
It's really been my main focus for a while. So yeah. I know you think that I'm not doing shit and I'm just out of being a degenerate, but no, I'm doing stuff, man. I got stuff going.
Dude, that's incredible. That's incredible.
MGAtour.com. MGAtour.com is where you can find out more, and it's a lot of fun. So check it out. The World Championships is always in November, so we got a little time. I'm excited. I'm excited about the changes we've made, and I'm not on Twitter anymore, or X, or whatever the fuck it is. I'm out, dude. I'm out. It sucks because I don't like tweet at you or Jen or.
Yeah, it's all good. I know, and I haven't used anything else, but social media.
Love
as a
for
whole
Pat the Bat
seems to have gotten worse. By the way, it's just so hard.
Getting worse. It's getting worse, man.
It's bad.
It's getting worse.
It's a bad place. I go to get a little bit of information and put our podcast out there. Other than that, I barely use it. Yeah.
But also, man, I'm just at this point, all the other podcast stuff outside of the MGA, this is the only one I care about, man. Yeah. I just want to get back into this, and I want to talk about the Giants. The Giants are not a boring team.
No.
Thankfully. Early on in this year, some people were saying the Giants were a boring team. We are not. We got stuff to talk about, Chad.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah. So I will see you on the next episode, and that's it.
Yeah, baby. All right. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. And we'll be in. I know I'm going to be doing some travel here in the next couple of weeks, so it might be another 2 weeks or so till we record, unless we can squeeze one in on Friday. Probably not. But we'll shoot for it. We gotta get this where you and or Eric can record at some point, because when I'm gone on these research cruises and vacations and
that's true.
It'd be great if you guys could slam one in there.
I can do it.
It's hard.
No, I can do it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Until we record episode 302, go Giants. Have a great week. Boom.
A big thank you to everybody for listening to the TortureCast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Follow us on Twitter at TortureCast. You can also like us on Facebook or check out our blog at torturecast.com. I also want to say thank you to Ashcon and Bailey for letting us use their song Feeling Like a Giant for our intro. For Ben Lee and Chad King, my name is Willie Dills saying, we'll see you next time.